When I first started this career, I thought that I would find myself happy, and that just didn't happen.
The company that you keep along this journey is the most important thing.
It was like 12 of us living in a 5-bedroom house and getting after it every day.
When do you know it's the time to go all in for something that you want to do?
If you have a passion, if you're lucky enough to discover your passion, whenever that point comes along, you put everything into it. Nobody remembers any of the times I failed and all the bad songs I put out. Nobody remembers that shit. They listen to Lose Control and it's a huge success. At the very worst, all I wanted to do is be one of the greats to do this job.
My name is VicBlends, and this is DeepCut with Teddy Swims.
What's up, brother? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, man.
Of course, man.
You're such a kind person. I'm so stoked to see that.
Yeah, likewise, bro. I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah. Oh, I'm get my hat off, obviously. Don't do that. Could we just, where should I put this? I'll throw it right there. Is that okay for now?
Cool. That's cool. Don't worry.
Got it.
Oh, all right. How do you feel, bro?
I felt great, man. I'm happy to be here, dude. This is great. We're doing a little Fallon this evening, so this is perfect. Get all nice and lined up by the best in the damn business, ain't it?
Come on, bro. It's good to line up the best in the business. So, how you want to do the top of your head?
If you can go just clean, man. If you got clean shave,
I got clean
skin, baby.
I got clean shit. No worry, bro.
And I know my beard's probably just an absolute rat, dude. So just follow your heart, shake that thing up like
Yeah, you line this side up.
You follow your heart, man. I didn't
My
want.
mustache is usually a bit longer.
Yeah, I did that thing because I think one of these days I'm gonna shave it. I'm gonna use the handlebars, man. I think I'm gonna go get
The handlebars is a cool look.
Yeah, I think I might do the. I want to get the mohawk going like 2000s, like Chuck Liddell style,
Yeah.
But I gotta get jacked first. I gotta lose a little more weight. So
Whenever you ready.
yo, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you are from Conyers.
Yes, sir.
And I live in Atlanta.
All right, on here you
I've been in Atlanta since 2019, so about 6 years now.
I think Atlanta is just, the melting pot of not only culture, but I think for music in general. We've had the best R&B and soul and hip hop and country, even still to this day. You got T.I., you got Ludacris, man. You got Usher, you got Ray Charles. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Atlanta had it for the last couple of years.
But Atlanta's always been, I think, everybody's come out of Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you because there's just so many parts to your story that I found extremely inspiring on your come up. I noticed you were also in the hair business. I know that was a thing. Serving was a thing for me also. So I'm so curious to just start with, what was your original childhood dream?
I wanted to be a comedian when I was a kid. I used to sit my family down and even do my little jokes and stuff.
I would do stand up for the crib.
I wanted to be a comedian all my whole life, and I think now it's like I still always have the. I was talking to Bert Kreischer not too long ago too when I was on this podcast, and we were talking about. I think there's just there's this thing where comedians want to be musicians and musicians want to be comedians. You know,
It's like they go both ways.
Yeah, but it's such a difficult thing because I think with comedians, it's just you up there with a microphone and nobody else. I find that even when I'm on stage and I do a joke right now, that if my joke absolutely bombs, I can just start the next song. There's dudes behind me to have my back. So I've always had this fear of. I think it's got to be the strongest thing in the world to be up there by yourself, just falling on your face, and you are gonna fall on your face. So
You gotta get you around.
yeah, I've never really paid my dues in that department, and I'm terrified of the debate that I would. But
I could see a Teddy Swims Netflix special.
yeah, you gotta, yeah. Also, now I think I'm a little too famous in this to go try that, because if I go bombing at a little club for 10 minutes, it's like everybody's gonna know, so I don't have time to just suck for a long time. I just kind of have to be good at immediately.
Yeah, that's good, man. Comedians got a special talent. Bombing probably has to feel worse than anything else.
Couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
That, and I used to, as a kid, my mom does hair, she was a barber, so she is a barber rather. I used to pull her hair through caps and stuff when I was a kid. She would be doing her highlights, and I used to foil her hair as a kid. And I remember when I was going through elementary school, she would always, as she was learning to be a color specialist, she would always just dye my hair to different colors. I would play on a football team, and she would dye my hair. Let's say we're the Patriots, she would just do red and blue on my hair. Yeah, she was always doing crazy stuff like that when I did as a kid. And I was known for that in elementary school.
So if you had to look at both of your parents, because I think both of our parents give us a foundation early, what qualities do you think you took from your mom, and what qualities did you take from dad?
I think my dad, is the sweetest, most humble, wonderful, honest human being in the world. He's always taught me how to be honest and be vulnerable and show my emotions and love. And I think my mother, I will say, is the most affectionate human being I've ever met. She's gonna hug you and kiss you and tell you she loves you. I think both of them have kind of instilled that in you. They're very huggy and touchy and feely, and I mean, I'm a little bold on that. I'm gonna tell you you're beautiful and then tell you I love you, and I think they were both very similar in that way. But I think my dad really had honesty and know how to go up and get it. I think I got that from both of them, though. They're very, very similar in a way.
Yeah, I've heard you credit your dad as being one of the most amazing men you're ever.
Sky Admiral, man.
I feel the same about my dad, and he's just all I've ever wanted to be honest with you. I've seen my dad just be the realest my whole life and make it happen by any means possible. So I feel the same about my dad.
Yeah, I have two little brothers. They're 10 years younger than me. They're my half brothers, and their mom was, had a lot of mental health issues, schizophrenic and bipolar, and it was really bad on drugs most of their life. And so I watched my dad really raise them to, working 18 hours a day and, constant out lights and constant out water and still making it happen, showing up at every practice, working overtime. And, he just did it. He was their mother and their father, and I always got to give it to him. That man, they gave them everything they needed from emotional and sensitivity as a mother would. He really did both parts and knocked it out.
Yeah, would they question you towards any type of direction when it comes to your professional career as you're coming out of high school? Was there anywhere they wanted you to go?
No, because I think when I was in high school, I found theater, and so I wanted to do music, and I've always tried to be a band, and so I wanted that more than anything. The reason I went to hair school is because my mother was, she had did it, and I knew so much about it. I was already cutting some of my friends' hair at the time, and because she's like, why don't you just go to school and then you can make your own schedule when you're doing hair, and then you could pursue music on the side. And she even so sweet, she went to get her cosmetology teaching license the same time I went to school for my cosmetology degree, and so she could go to school with me and teach me and got to hold my hand through it. So we went to college together, which was sweet, man. My mom was so wonderful, and it was my dad who had told me to drop out when I was 19. He said, man, if you want to do music, and I was still screaming in metal bands and singing, and we weren't very good, and I don't know why he would have said this, but he knew how much I loved it, and always supported it, and was like, son, if you want to make it happen, you need to drop everything, drop out of school, and
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting because your mom is telling you to have backup plan, but your dad is also telling you to go for it, and those are two very different opinions coming to you. And how were you deciding which one you wanted to follow?
I guess the one that I like the best, because fuck school a little bit. Now, first, don't take my word on that, but I hate it.
No, I didn't want to go either. My mom and my dad were just so on college, gonna get out your degree, and there was the backup plan, like go get a degree. You always have to fall in it, but I never wanted to go to college. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was just a hustler, and then I picked up barbering senior year of high school, and I always thought it was the coolest shit. And I remember hearing you say that when people ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you would say, I want to be tatted.
Yeah.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I turn 18, it's up. Like, I'm going to go get my first one. And that's what I did. And my first tattoo was the clipper on my arm. And it says barber.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I was trying to prove everybody, like, I'm going to be a barber. I'm going to be a barber to watch. And then the first tattoo was clipper because I wanted to prove it to everybody.
Doing it so wonderfully as a there's just so much, I guess, therapist in this career.
This is the best, bro. It's the best.
My mother, I just always growing up watching my mother do it. It was so sweet. She would, there's so many people, she's cut their hair for 50, 60 years, you know what I mean? That are just old ladies, and she still gets roller sets on. And, she actually ended up being, her dearest friend that we grew up with was a mortician. And so my mother started, as some of her clients were getting older and stuff, she would do their hair and makeup for their funerals, and really kind of fell into that business. And so my mom, for the last few years, just even for some of our older family members and stuff, it's done one of the hardest jobs is still doing their hair, makeup when they're passed, And she's like, I think she might have been 54 or something when she discovered it. She was like, I think this is a whole nother career for me. I never would have thought that I started getting notes from people saying, "Thank you for making my aunt or my grandma look so beautiful," at the funeral. And then she was like, "This is such a beautiful." I don't know if you ever, I don't know if that would ever be something you know. It's such a rewarding thing in itself. And she felt,
I've been asked to, but I'm by nature I'm emotional, and I don't know, man. It was that's a lot for me to decide. But I think this time of graduating high school and becoming an adult is so important because you're forced to kind of figure out what direction you want to go to. And I think it's really cool to kind of hear it from somebody that went all in for what they wanted at some point. And I just want to ask, like, when do you know it's the time to go all in for something that you want to do?
I think you're so lucky to even know what you want to be. And I think as soon as if you have a passion, if you're lucky enough to discover your passion, whenever that point comes along, you put everything into it. Because I talked to my older brother a lot, and I've asked him, I was like, if you could do anything at all, like what would it like? He doesn't really know. There's like not a certain passion that he wants to do, and I find that even all my brothers they don't quite know. There's like not a specific drive on something that they're so in love with, and I think there is a passion for everybody, but maybe it comes later in life, or maybe somebody discovers what they love way later in life. I haven't found that as I've asked my dad, that now that all 4 of his boys are old and out of school and stuff, I'm like, well, Dad, you don't leave it a dad forever. Like, what is it that you would like want to do, would be passionate about, and I think this might be even the first time that he's starting to think about something like that, because I even asked, I talked to my older brother one time, and this was such a eye-opening thing for me. I said, so it's like, when you were a kid, I remember watching like Dragon Ball Z, or like, and then seeing Goku, and like seeing like, the chosen one, and he's like watching the Matrix and seeing Neo, like, he's the chosen one, right? And I just always had this thing where I felt like I was that character, like,
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to be like the God chosen me to be like the savior of the universe, like that. And I felt like that every child felt that way. And when I asked my older brother that, he's like, generally I've never felt that way. I want the guy to win, but I don't watch those shows and think that's me, Goku. I'm Sora from Kingdom Hearts. He doesn't think that kind of stuff. And so I find it weird, because I called my, what I wanted was, I thought everybody felt like they were the superhero. I thought everybody thought they were Spider-Man, and it turns out that he's just like, no, I want Spider-Man to win, but I don't feel like the chosen person. Yeah. And so it's such a weird thing to think that your experience isn't the same as everyone else's. But yeah. So I think it's, if you have that passion and you're lucky enough to find out what that passion is at all at any time in your life, and you need to be all gas on that thing, man. It's important that you're not going to be happy doing anything else if you know what you want to do and you decide to do something else, or you don't put everything in. I was lucky enough to never take no for an answer, but and also have parents who believed in me and wanted to. And they couldn't help me, yet still they at least allowed me and gave me the permission to follow my dreams, And so I think that was such a luck situation to be in that kind of place. But the answer to the question, I think when you know. So why waste time?
Yeah. And that's just always a tough place when you don't know, and there's pressures to know, and kids feel behind because they don't know. Yeah, they feel like the norm is to be 21 years old on the internet getting a bunch of money. And yeah, like you're saying, that's not reality for a lot of people, and they get it at different times in their life. But also the reality is that everybody's got the time to make it at some point, and it's gonna look different for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is the comparison of, I feel this way and my life too sometimes, and I try to not compare myself to people in their timelines, because you see somebody when it's not happening for you, and you're doing music, and you're still kind of clueless in where you want to be, and as far as music goes. And I mean, Teddy Swims in itself has only been a 5-year thing, and I'm 32 now, and I'm finally getting to where I want to be in music. But you have Billie Eilish, she's crushing it at 16 years old, and it's easy to feel like, God, I'm so far behind. They're already crushing it, and I don't think, I think that's, now that I used to always, I wanted right now. And I think the biggest thing for me is that I truly am so grateful for God for giving it to me at the time that I now know what I'm doing and how to do it. And I'm grateful as a grown man now to have the proposition and have the knowledge and the wisdom and the I guess the care and the just the I'm ready for what's happened.
The journey prepares you. That's one thing I do know, but is that it prepares you for what you got coming in. Yeah, if everything that you ever wanted came at the time you asked for it, you wouldn't know how to care.
Oh, I know. I destroyed it. I would have absolutely destroyed it. And I think that's the biggest thing is like, I just believing that process is when you get everything you want, it's going to be the time that you need it. Yet at the time that you know how to deal with it, because you can't have it all right now, or you can't have it all ever for that matter. Right?
You know, hearing your story of making it happen, but also working a job that wasn't ideal, and then going from, you know, whether it's restaurant to restaurant or, you know, another job to another job. I think there's this idea of doing what you have to in order to do what you want to do. And in that time of you working a job that isn't music to make things afloat, how did you keep this drive going?
I think I never stopped doing this as well. No matter what, I think I put all my eggs in this basket. You know, even if I had to work 3 days a week or two 10 doubles a week at Chili's, you know, I'm doing what I got to do. You know, because and no matter what, if I'm losing sleep from before I got to be up, I'll be up all night doing it, and I'll drag my ass to work and get it done. But I'm gonna get the job done. But I'm putting the rest of my energy and the rest of my time into the thing I love. And again, I'm lucky enough to have known what that was. But if you want it, there's time. You know, there's time in the day if you want it. And I think it's just like that with anything in relationships. Even if you want it, there's time for it. There's always going to be time for it. There's no at least in my brain, there's no excuse for wanting something and saying you don't have time to achieve it, because there's time.
Absolutely. And then when you're chasing a dream, right? And I think there's this idea online, which I don't like, but you hear people preach about drop everything, go all in, quit your job, like go get it. Yeah, I think that is just so unrealistic that at some point you have to walk on faith, but at another point you have to be strategic about it. How soon did strategy come into you going into this music career?
Well, I was very fortunate to able to have friends who were, you know, trusting, and we were able to navigate this together. You know, I think the biggest thing was I went from doing 5 days a week to slowly 4 days a week to 3 days a week to finally 1 day a week, and moving in the house with my friends and letting them float me for, you know, a couple months while this was panning out. And so I do think you gotta like, I slowly dropped everything but this until I could, because I wasn't gonna starve and live in my car. Walking on faith is one thing, but yeah, again, like stepping out and just dropping everything and being like, I applaud the kids that I applaud the kids that just say, like, right out of high school, like, fuck it, I'm moving to New York, and yeah, he's going for it out there. Because I was like, dude, that's tough.
Yes, it is. And you know, I was a server at the same time as we started to cut hair, and I remember the point that I was trying to get to was that I was trying to figure out if I could make enough money cutting hair that made as much as I did at the restaurant. When I got to that point, that it was going to be a good transition, I'd be able to pay whatever I have to pay for, then I quit.
Yeah, there's a slow transition in it. And that's the same way for me. It was a slow transition. It wasn't like just quitting and like you can't. I don't know. I wouldn't have been able to live if I did absolutely. Like, and thank God for the time I was working at Chili's, and they were I guess understanding of what it was that I was trying to do. They would let me go for 3 weeks on a little tour and then come back and still have a job and pick up shifts as I needed. And, you know, so that just having a job that will allow you to do things and know what your purpose is, and not stifle your purpose. I think as long as you have your other plan that is helping you make that transition, and not having people in your life that are it's this or that. Yeah, it never has to be this or that. It never has to be that. You know, it can work, and you got to build the life you want, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I know you mentioned that, you know, it was you and the guys, and I think the company that you keep along this journey is probably the most important thing. How did you know that you had the right guys around you to start that journey?
Well, I always have, and I've always had the best friends. You know, I'm so lucky that, like, I remember when we did this first cover, and I remember talking to the guys and saying, this actually kind of worked. You know, this Michael Jackson cover worked, and I said, like, you know, what if we all just put all of our effort in this one little thing right here? Like, give me 6 months of your time, guys. If we can film the videos and we can
record the songs and we can like distribute the merch and we can play the music, then well, we don't really need anybody. And so we all actually like 12 of us moved in this 5-bedroom house in Snellville, Georgia. And we had built like plyboard walls in between like rooms and made like 2 bedrooms out of 1 room, like stuff like that, and built 2 studios in there. And we're like shipping our merchandise out of the garage. And we had, like I said, it was like 12 of us living in a 5-bedroom house and getting after it every day. And when I tell you manifestation is such a beautiful thing, because we started the first cover June 25th of 2019 and December 24th of 2019, a day less than 6 months.
Yep.
It came to fruition, and we signed a Warner and, made it through the whole pandemic together. And I think I also got to credit the pandemic a lot for us, because where kids were, like kind of messed up on being able to get together and record and play or having the equipment, and we were all kind of already quarantined together, like all 12 of us. And was able to continue to work and continue to SORFX round. Yeah,
I really think
it was. I've even making it through after I put all my buddies on salary, we was making it through like my little advance, that I gotten from Warner. It was tough to navigate. There was times that we were like, you can't tell your friends, like, I don't know how we're going to pay payroll, Friday coming up. But I just always would. I remember talking to my manager at the time and him be like, look, dude, we're really scraping by here. I don't know how we're going to make this. I don't know where this money could come from. And I think that's where standing on faith came in for us, because I just was like, dude, I know something's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Whether y'all got to go out and find that money from a private gig or somebody just randomly emails us about this whole situation. And we always found a way. There was always a way to keep it going and never having to have the conversation if we can't. And I think that I started just making promises like that all the time. That I think when I started believing that my faith was really going to be the thing, that I say this all the time. It's like my motto is like, make more promises, because when you love people, you don't lie to them. And so I would always just say, dude, I know this is going to happen. I promise we're going to get through this. And I think you do whatever it takes to not break that promise. And I think God also does whatever it takes for you to stand on that purpose, And so I think we just always found a way, like even if it was last minute.
God made a way out of no way.
Yeah, always, man. And I find that that's where manifestation comes in, is just standing on that faith and knowing that it's going to work and it's going to happen, and never letting that go. And I think the more you're willing to walk out on faith, the more you get rewarded for that. If you're doing what's, I guess, the universe is telling you to, just being open to that.
Absolutely. And then you start this journey, you're talking about manifestation, talking about visualization, and often you make this plan, and Mike Tyson said that everybody's got a plan so they get punched in the face. And when it's not going your way, what are the things you're doing to take a step back and realign those steps?
Man, I guess I get up and keep charging, man. I tell you what, it's nothing's pushing us backwards, just get hit in the face. That's gonna happen. You're gonna fall on your face, you're gonna fail. Nobody remembers any of the times I failed and all the bad songs I put out, but nobody remembers that shit. They listen to Lose Control and it's a huge success. And nobody's diving back into my stuff and be like, damn, he sucked. And if they do, they're gonna be like, damn, he sucked. Yeah. There's hope, So I don't know. I think failure is always gonna happen. And I'm gonna fail again and again and again. But nobody's counting my failures, and hopefully I'm not counting my failures. Hopefully the successes are what I'm counting towards. And I think that you don't learn from your success ever. You learn from your failures, and that's the biggest teacher. And so I don't think I've ever learned anything from winning. You don't ever get anything from that. I think you get things from losing.
Absolutely, yeah. And then it comes with a lot of sacrifices on this journey to chase something certain, and you have to let go of things. But in that time of chasing this dream, was there ever something that you wish you didn't sacrifice?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, with this, there's a lot of this job that I didn't think that I never, I guess, accounted for. I wouldn't say I would regret it or I would change it. But I would say that there's so many times where you're missing birthdays and funerals and births and graduations and stuff like that I wish I could go see my little cousin's baseball games and stuff. But I think there's rewards on the other side of that too, where I've been able to be in a spot where I can sponsor my cousin's travel baseball team, and then
they got a Teddy Swims logo on the field, and he's walking out to my song when you're getting ready to bat. And I get the videos. Of course, I don't get to see the games, but how badass has it? And they sponsor the team, and they send those kids, all the kids, a video like, "Yo, Teddy Swims, man. I just want to tell you guys, go out there and give them hell and bring that W home. Those kids are jacked, you know." And so there's mistakes you miss, but there's also things you just win, and that I think equally replace that in a way. And so I think for every sacrifice there is and compromise, I think there's an equal and maybe even better reward that's waiting on it.
Yep.
But the presence of being there, I've learned to value being present with the time I do have with those people. And one piece of advice I got one time was that, when you have time with people, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 10 years, it could be eternity, but you make that person feel like they're the most important person in the world, no matter what. And I had somebody ask me, he said, "You know what the most important person in the world is?" And I said, "Who's that?" It's you, because I'm right here with you. You have all of me, every piece of me. And I thought that was a beautiful way. If I'm here, and I'm right here with you, and you are the most important person in the world to me. And if I get this 10 minutes or if I get 10 years or whatever it is, I think you make that person feel that way. And at the end of the day, people don't care what you do. They care about the way you make them feel, and you value that time. Your time is just as valuable as everybody else's. Even if there's a price point on your time or a price point on my time that's more than this person gets, $10 an hour and I get this for this hour, it doesn't make my time any more valuable than anybody else's. And so I respect that time is invaluable, and that you get that time with somebody, and it's equal to both parties.
Yeah, absolutely. The word present that you just said, I had that word tatted on me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing. And I remember being on this journey is still at times as there's chasing goals, you're going hard, and it's hard to kind of see where you're at sometimes because you want to be somewhere else. Was being present something that you struggle with?
Always, yeah. I think I'm learning that balance every day. I think there's when you're standing on top of a rooftop, they say that the human eye can see 20 miles ahead of itself, right? And 20 miles. And when you walk that 20-mile distance and you stand on top of another rooftop, there's 20 more miles ahead. And so I think that, like, it's such a difficult thing to know where you want to be and blow right past where you are. And I think presence is truly something that I always try to tell myself I'm right where I'm supposed to be, right where I'm there, and I think, yeah, of course you want more all the time, but being present is the most rewarding thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always heard this quote where, you want to create a V somewhere, you want to be somewhere else, but you don't realize that you're somewhere that you prayed to be at one point.
Oh, that's beautiful, dude. Yeah.
Like you want to be somewhere else, but even the position you're on right now, you prayed to be here at one point. It's there, you're here. So you gotta show gratitude for, the present moment and just where we're at today.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is prioritizing that gratefulness. And I find it even in my time or my career now is that there's some days where this even starts to feel like a job apprentice, and you're talking to you like, I don't feel like this today, or I'm just a little upset, I'm hungover, maybe I'm 3 hours of sleep, and I just like, I got to get up at 6 a.m. to do this damn job sometimes. And you're like, I felt I was gonna be able to be a degenerate, just drink all the time and do this job, and now I'm like, there's no escaping being adult and doing like real responsibilities. And so I find that I have prioritize my gratefulness, and say some days there's days that things feel hard or feel jobby, and I got to tell myself, what are you upset about, man? You're following your dreams, you're doing the best job in the world with your best friend, and what do you have to complain about? But then also there are some days where you just need to complain, and you got to also have the balance and get wherewithal to give yourself that space to just be upset. Some days I'm just like,
It is okay.
I'm upset, and this. Sometimes you got to be a little baby about shit. Okay, just give yourself that space too when you need it. And just, you know what you need. So listen to your body, baby. You know what I mean?
Yep. So when you're creating the vision of where you want to be at, you see this world of this artist, and this artist. Where did you see yourself existing in music?
I don't know, because before, when I was younger, I was in metal bands, and just growing up, like before I was Teddy Swims, I was in this like kind of alternative, like country-esque band, and was playing covers with this like we were playing like bar bands doing 80s metal, and I was in this like little like old 60s soul band trying to play weddings and stuff, and in metal bands. And for me, I love the craft of singing, man, and I love writing music. And I never saw myself in any particular place. I just want to do this, man. And I'm also such a fan of this instrument that it also drives me crazy when people can do stuff with their voice that I don't know how to, Like, I love this. I'm such a fan of this instrument, and wherever I could do it for a living and wherever I could get heard, I felt like I had something to say and something to give, and I just felt like I was chosen. This was my purpose to do this, and I love this craft. And at the very worst, all I wanted to do is be one of the greats to do this job, And so, whatever that meant, whatever that was being followed, I could find myself authentically in whatever space they needed me to be, as long as I could use my mouth, man. That's all I needed to do.
And there's people that watch this that, are going to see you for the first time that don't know that, you started getting buzz online from covers. And, I think it's, first of all, you have a gift to sing, to even have that in notoriety for doing covers. You have the qualities of being a great artist from your sound and look. But was there worry on your end of, can I make original music? That's when I
Hell yeah, dude. I just scared the mess out of me, because when you get like notoriety a little bit for some of the greatest songs ever, the biggest fear is that,
can you match that?
yeah, how am I? So I gotta like come right out the gate trying to write one of the best songs ever if I'm gonna get any noticeable, notoriety, right? And I gave too much power to those songs I was covering, and not enough power to myself to know that I sang some of the greatest songs in the world, but I still cut through because I was special enough to these people. And so I think as I'm learning I'm not always gonna write some of the best songs in the world, neither did those artists. I think I removed myself from the equation so many times when I was coming up that I thought, well, they're working because they're amazing songs already, but also because I was amazing too, and so when I tell myself as I go to writing that these people are here because they care about me and they love me. And it's so funny that when you're so close to this, that you look at yourself and you look at people and they love you for this one thing, but they don't love you for this thing. And you can look at me like somebody might like Lose Control, but the one that like I love on the album that like it's like the deepest cut of the album, I'm like, if you don't like that song, you just don't even understand me, and it's like you could be such a weenie about like, and instead of being grateful for love and support, I'm like, you don't even know.
This is all you want to do, what they love, all of your creations, and everybody's got a one that just hits specific for them. And I think just what I'm thinking about is your authenticity, because not that doing a cover isn't authentic because you're doing it in your way, but you've kept authenticity from what I've seen to be here. And was there ever times that you feel like that may have been challenged in trying to fit into an industry?
I think so. I think the issue was, just trying to find a cohesive way to enter this market was always the thing that I struggled with, because I have felt like we had times where this is too rock and roll, or this is too R&B, or this is too this, and it's just like, if it feels authentic and it feels good, then it's good. And I don't think people don't think of things like that like we do. People don't think like this song is too rock and roll, or if it feels good, it's good. And I think there was so many times where I think authenticity is the only thing that matters, and people can see it. People can see authenticity for what it truly is. They can see people being themselves and somebody thrown through a machine. And I think I think it was always just very important to stay myself and my true self, and that's smoking dick and fart jokes and crying heartbreak music, and they could go hand in hand together. Everybody thinks everybody's been heartbroken, and everybody finds a fart funny, and that's that kind of formula for my success.
Yo, I don't know why I'm even thinking about this, but my fiance doesn't fart in front of me, and she's never farted in front of me. So for like over 6 years, I've never heard her fart, which is, I don't know. We haven't broke the fart barrier, but we're engaged, so.
And that's so loud. Yeah, I'm finally getting there with mine. She's 20 weeks pregnant, so I think it's just kind of at this point where I'm like, look, you're gonna have to get over it, girl. Like you might even like have that baby and like shit yourself. So we're gonna have I already gonna see it.
Oh, come on.
We're just have to get close. You're gonna have to go ahead and let those little toots out, girlfriend.
Yeah. I get, man, you brought it up, but I was gonna wait till later. But man, first of all, congratulations on becoming a pastor. It is like great segue, right? That's how we get into it. But dog, one of the biggest blessings, or what I feel like is most people say the biggest blessing in your life, to become a father. And I don't know, man. How do you feel? You know, nervous?
Man, I'm so excited. I truly am, and I can't wait to. I just hope they think I'm as cool as I think my dad is. I want. That's my biggest thing is I want my child to say the things I say about my father one day and be like, he was the most kind and he's the best, most emotional, intelligent. I want that baby to talk about me and
They will.
yeah.
They are going to talk about. They are. You know, they are going to talk about you like that. What lesson do you think you take it from your parents that you think you're gonna pass on to your kids?
Man, I want them to know that there's they can do what they want. You know that there's a space for them to follow their dreams and their heart. I think that was the biggest thing for me is giving my dad giving me that permission and that power of him giving me a permission was the biggest thing in my life to just have the permission to go for it was and never feeling like I couldn't be what I was, you know, being able to like have my hair purple and green and yellow and all sorts of shit when I was a kid. Just I remember being able to express myself freely and having piercings all over my face, tattoos all over.
Yeah,
It was just,
they have that freedom.
I always just want my kids to feel like that is the, you know.
Hey, how did wifey tell you?
I will actually weird enough, we were leaving Austin City limits. So right up there, she had never been to a Buc-ee's either. So we're on the bus. We're going.
Oh my God, I just took my fiance to Buc-ee's like the other last month for the first.
Dude, it's the Disney World. I'm trying.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wanted to take it there. We stopped there, and we're like me and her get these Buc-ee's onesies together, and you know, and we're like doing the brisket sandwich, we're doing the ghost pepper jerky. I'm showing her the whole rounds of beaver nuggets. We had it with milk like cereal, you know, like all the secret Buc-ee shit, you know. And the next day we have off. I can't remember the city we're in, and we take our Buc-ee's onesies. We go eat at a Chili's, which was so fun because I haven't been to Chili's since I work here. Well, me and her sitting there in our Buc-ee's onesies, and
she told you at Chili's?
no, well, we're on the way back to the hotel, right? And she had been complaining kind of like period cramps and period booby swelling and all the things that seem like period stuff. But I was like, you've been kind of complaining of these symptoms for a little longer than you should, and you're like 3-4 weeks late. We should, you know, just we should just do a test. And we did like 3 tests, and back with back, they were just immediately like, oh, positive. And so we found out in our little Buc-ee's onesies, which is so cute. So I've been calling it boy or girl. I'm calling that baby Bucky.
You're not gonna give him Bucky though.
No, maybe not the actual.
Be sure, man, you're not gonna give him Bucky.
But Bucky, the stage name will be Bucky Swims. You heard it here. I sponsor Bucky though. No matter what, it's getting called Bucky.
Yeah, dog. Congratulations. That is fucking amazing.
Yeah, that is.
No, I don't. I'm 25. Which is not like I can't have kids 25, but I want to so that like now I could wait, but again, my dad is the biggest inspiration to me. I cannot wait to be a father one day and just it's a big thing for me. I hope I will get there.
Yeah. I'm 32 now, and I think I'm already. Of course, at the time, didn't feel ready when we found out there was that lump in your gut. And you're like, oh shit, you know. And she was more scared than I was. She was like, oh yeah, you got some. And then she was more scared than I was. So I immediately had to like swallow that feeling and be like, well, you know, whatever you need, baby, I'm here, just supportive, and just like, I immediately just found myself just step right into manhood, you know, like I'm supportive, I'm here, baby, I'll do all it is. I am not scared one bit, but
It's gotta be regained, bro. It's gotta be like you gotta step up. It's time. You have the mantra, make promises. I love that, and I was thinking about it because I have a tattoo on my arm that says a promise to grow.
yeah,
I think it's important to make promises to yourself. So I've always promised that no matter what I go through, I'm gonna grow through it. And I was just curious, what was the last promise that you made to yourself?
Oh man, I mean, that's a good question. I guess, yeah, but I don't know, man. It's been a minute to that. I guess that I'm staying with this thing this year that I've been kind of like religiously in the gym again for the last like few months, maybe 3 or 4 months now, and I'm trying to stay with it. I wanna be strong and healthy when this baby shows up, and I want to be and staying in therapy, and you know, me and my girl have been doing like couples therapy together and getting ourselves like fired to the best, you know, to the best of our ability, to the best of our communication, and the best, bringing this kid into safety, bringing this kid into healing, bringing this kid into a calm, safe environment. And I think that is That is the thing I promised myself, is that I want my child to be born into a safe, loving home environment with our relationship safe and whole, and then where we can discuss, and I want safety,
So I guess that is my, and it's
Promise.
yeah. And then when you again, but that's the mantra, is like when you love somebody, you don't lie to them. I mean, you keep that promise. And so I think that even goes to yourself. If you love yourself, you don't lie to yourself. And I think your brain kind of learns things too, even if it's like, I'm gonna get up and go tomorrow at 8 a.m. and you don't get up and go tomorrow at 8 a.m. I think your brain kind of remembers that lie to yourself, and so I'm trying to do a lot more little promises instead of just big overall arcing promises that just like, even, like last night laying down, I'm getting up 8 a.m. I'm going out, and making sure that I keep those tiny promises to myself, day by day promises. Like, I'm not drinking today, don't do it. I mean, I am drinking today, so I didn't say that today, but we got an album coming out tonight, I'm getting fucking hammered, but
Come on, that's like, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, I'm not drinking. Hold me to that one.
And most important, keep the promises to yourself that you make.
Yeah,
First and foremost, man. Let me clean this up a bit. Get this cape off you real quick.
Oh, wait, come on, bro. That's sharp, doggy.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Look at that. Ooh, they get a little lotion going on that bad boy.
No, nigga, we'll get you nice and oiled up.
Okay. Thank you. Looks incredible, bro. Love it. Yeah, tear it up, dog. I'm glad. I'm out with it on, but we gotta show off the hair.
Yeah, that's right. So the album, Tried Everything But Therapy Part 2. Now I just heard you say that you were gonna stay in therapy. Is that something that you've dabbled in now?
Yeah. I'm doing solo therapy, and again with me and my girl, we're doing couples as well. And it's been, I think with the thing with the first album, it was coming from such a place of like heartbreak and turmoil, and there was no real answer of getting out of it, and I was in such a horrible emotional place and spiritual place, and I think going this part two, and writing from where I am now, from someone who's tried therapy, and someone who's fallen in love again, and someone who's having a child, and someone who's gotten success, and I think this second album is kind of a closure on all that heartbreak, and turmoil from the first one, because it shows it on the backside, on the other side of all that pain and all that heartbreak. There is so much love and support and success and child, and it gets better, and I hope that I and the listener take away that from this record. There's a lot of unlearning that I'm doing too, and healing that I'm doing, and these songs and in life.
Yeah, so we're not gonna get part 3. Yeah, we're not gonna get Tried Everything But Therapy Part 3.
No, I think we'll move on. But we've been tossing around the idea of because there's a couple more songs I still really wanted to add to this one, but I didn't want to do too long. So we might do like a kind of throw like a couple more in the hat, maybe like a complete, and like do the whole 1.5 and 2 all together, this complete edition with a couple little songs, so you can just get the whole damn thing together, maybe possibly. But we're moving on to
Come on, I like that, brother. I like that. And I know you mentioned bipolar disorder. I have bipolar 1 disorder, so therapy is just a sharp tool in the shed. And there's always an idea that therapy is for people that are really fucked up, but it just comes with people that are also successful. Like, man, the richest people in the world, the most successful people have therapists, because it's a sharp tool in the shed to manage as things were happening. And I heard you say the word unlearn. And I was curious, man, as this success has came into your life, what are the things that you've had to unlearn?
I think that, I guess the way that I thought about what this would be, when I first started this career, or this as a career, I thought that there was going to be this like click of, I have happiness now. I'm so happy. I thought when people started loving me and telling me that my feelings were okay, and that they listened to my music, and they were there, standing there in support of me, that I would find myself good or happy, and I think that was the biggest thing. I set myself up for failure, is that my problems would be solved by finances be taken care of, or people validating my emotions, or me as a human being, and that just didn't happen, and I started to look around and think that either they were all lying to me, or I was lying to them, and there was this piece of me that I felt like I was supposed to love myself now. And
Yeah.
I had to learn all those things to take care of myself and love myself and do, I had to look myself in the eyes and tell myself I love you, and I started doing that every day, just simple stuff like that, and working out, or Diamond Dallas Page has been a huge, amazing,
DDG?
yeah, DDP, man.
DDP, yeah. See, that's so funny. This dude I cut with in the shop when I first got to Atlanta was DDP's barber. That's
Yeah,
fun. That's a funny
he
connection.
helped
Yeah.
me over the pandemic. He helped me lose like 60 pounds, man. I got a tattoo back here. He's my second father, man.
Bro, amazing.
Such a life coach and such a wonderful person for me. And it taught me, those things of like loving yourself, and I think there's a lot of that I've unlearned. And even now, as I'm in a relationship with somebody that is so good to me, that I've had to learn how to, that love isn't meant to be this high highs and low lows, and this pulling teeth situation. That there's so many things that love can be communicative. You can feel,
Yeah.
you can feel deserving of love, and love yourself.
I think everybody on this earth is deserving of love. And, I hear you, well, first just watching, man, the amount of pressure and responsibility that's came with you along this journey. And I hear you on the journey of loving yourself. And, there's a lot of people that can relate to this, but how do you continue to show up for others when it's really hard to show up for yourself?
I think there's when you show up for others, I think you show up for yourself. I think there's so much I get from there's so much healing I get from creating a safe place for people that are also doing doing me the same favor in a way. Showing up on that stage every day and having so many people saying like, I also feel this way, or it's okay you feel this way. I think we do that for each other, and I think again, showing up for people is so much. I get so much of my love, and I get so much of my cup filled up by being there for people.
I think humans are here to serve the needs of other people.
Yeah.
And that's why I get on the street every day and try to give a stranger a cut, because you never know what it means to somebody, but my cup gets filled every time that I do it. So the people that are like, man, your videos help me, or your music helps me, is like, man, you guys have no idea how it helps me to tell you things. Yeah.
Also, I think the coolest part is that like there's a way that we've taken some trauma that we maybe both have a similar situation, and we've been able to turn that trauma into something that we now can reclaim and own and celebrate it together, and now I can look back at those things and say like, I own this. This is mine. I get that. The thing that was put me through hell is now the thing that pays me and my friends' bills.
Yeah.
And so I'm still grateful for everything that has happened. And if I wouldn't go back and change anything, I might just go back and fuck up the same thing twice,
Yeah, I like that. And, the last question that I really have on a serious note is I want to know what has been your proudest moment?
Man, I think I truly, I mean, not including like finding out that I was a father. I'll say, okay, we were doing Los 40 awards in Spain, and I was up for best international artist and best international album. And as I'm going up for best international artist, like so my girl is on the phone, we're FaceTiming, she's at the OBGYN, and she's getting, the ultrasound done. And we're sitting at the dinner table and, waiting for this thing to be announced. And I'm seeing my baby in her belly. And as they're talking about this, they call my name up for best international artist. And so I've started crying because my baby's on this camera. And then I get up there and get best international artist, and I'm just sobbing. And I'm like, that was probably one of those things. Those are one of the things you can't make up. I met my dear friend Vincent Boone sitting right next to me too, and I'm like, please hold my phone. Like,
Yeah.
could you turn the camera around so my girl could see me? And Vincent, like seeing my baby waving to my girl, like, look, he won. And
Yeah.
and me and him was such a dear, wonderful kid, man, wonderful friend of mine, and we both went on to win too that night. And I don't get to see my kid in her belly, and that might have been I think the biggest thing that's happened to me thus far is just getting both of those things.
Yeah, it's extremely beautiful,
I
bro.
know how the balance is going to be, and the balance can work, and that you can have, I guess, your cake and eat it too,
Mm-hmm. And then you've accomplished so many things, man. One of the most accomplished, artists up to this point that I would say. But Did you ever imagine that you would be performing at the Grammys this year?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know it, dude. Yeah, you know you gotta see it. You know, even if it's delusional. I think there's a fine line between like manifestation and delusion. You know, you gotta see it first. You have to see it. I closed my eyes and saw it forever. I think one of the biggest videos I used to watch all the time as a kid, and I love this video still. If I need to pick me up, I go watch it. There's this video of Michael Jackson, and he goes on to win 8 Grammys for Thriller, and it's like he goes up there on the 7th Grammy. They call him back up, and he's like, I promised that if I won another Grammy, this is 7, which is a record, that I would take my sunglasses off. People start screaming. He's like, I don't want to take my sunglasses off, but
Oh, no, I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
he's like, but I'm doing it for Miss Hepburn, who's a friend of mine, and the ladies in the back, and he just kind of raises them.
Yeah, Shorty's passing out. Yeah, people passing out. Yeah, people passing out.
Does this and goes back and sits down. I'm like, that's so fucking.
Yeah, people passing out when he would take the shades off. That was crazy. That's aura. That's the definition of aura. Yeah. So I have a section of the show. It's called Quick Cuts. These are just shorter, faster questions. What was the worst job that you had before music?
I'm gonna say I was a taxi driver in my hometown. I was so miserable. Well, I was in Covington, Georgia, and so I was sitting outside like all these bars with these old shitty rednecks, man, coming in there just being hammered and trying to get. It's 4 a.m. and you're trying to get them out because you're out of their house and they're passed out in the back of your Chrysler Town and Country. Taxi driving was the most miserable thing I've ever done all through the night.
What has been the dumbest lie that you've seen about yourself online?
Damn, that's a good question. Oh, well, you know, I kind of set this one up, to be fair. I set this one up because it says that I'm like 6'4" on the internet, and I did this, to be fair, because I'm 5'7". I'm not.
You're 5'7", I'm 5'7".
Yeah, and I'm not.
We just Googled and they said you were 6'1".
See what I'm saying? Hell yeah.
Let me see.
Well, I got my clap.
Oh, you got like, you're probably 5'8".
Yeah, I might be a good 5'9" right now. Look at him. Yeah, see.
Good 5'9", 5'10" vibe, yeah.
But so yeah, we had like when I was first like getting this like Wikipedia and stuff being built like years ago, I had told my manager, I was like, dude, I wanna like say, can you make it say like I'm 6 foot something, you know? And he's like, well, you gotta have to do like you have to do like an interview or something so they can source it.
I think that's the first time that I've said I was 5'7". Also, I think Google says I'm 5'10", and I let that one ride.
Yeah. I said. So I just like did an interview and where I asked my buddy to just ask me how tall I was so I could say like, yeah, 6'4", and he was like, that's an interview, we could use it, you know. And so it says I'm 6 foot something, but truly I'm 5'7".
Yeah. Who you think will win at a fight, a grizzly bear or a silverback gorilla?
Oh damn. I think it was the silverback gorilla. He's got a little more, you know, like I think he's
More
got,
fluid.
He's got more control of. But I don't know. That's a tough one, dude.
I'm gonna go gorilla because I just think they're gonna have more motion.
And it could do maybe quicker. I don't know.
For sure, quick. I heard they're fast animals.
Yeah.
Favorite item on a Chili's menu?
Oh damn, dude. I'm gonna go with dang. That's such a hard question. Let's say
I've seen Chili's being viral for the boneless wings right now.
Dude, I'm gonna say the cookie skillet though, dude. You know, okay, they have the just chocolate chip cookie with the ice cream on it. Maybe that, or I mean, you can't go wrong with a triple dipper, dog. Triple dipper.
Yeah. So
Bro.
if you had to survive on an island with another artist, who would you take to survive with you?
I mean, can't be for my dog Vic, dude. Come on, bro.
I mean, dog, I'm a handy dude, but that's a cop out.
Yeah.
Another musical artist, you need to take him on an island. You gotta survive.
Ah, damn. I'm gonna say, cause I want him to be like jacked. You know what I mean? And they gotta be, they gotta be like jacked, cause they gotta be like from, you know. Actually, I would take my dog Thomas Rhett, man. That man's a hunting, fishing. You know,
I know you know a couple good country folk, for sure.
Yeah, I'm probably Thomas Rhett, bro. I know he's got my back. He can hunt and fish and do all. You know, he knows what he's doing. I think he probably could build. I mean, I'm sure he's well rounded.
Yeah.
It's got to be a country boy for sure, though. Yeah, it's gonna be Thomas Rhett or I bet you Chris Stapleton's mean out there in the woods too, bro.
Yeah, there's a couple guys I'd definitely take out there. I know Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, made one song.
Oh, see, I was gonna say Dwayne, man. Yeah, he did.
Oh my God, I think anybody would want to survive with Dwayne. I think he would just save me in every situation.
Yeah, he could. Would you take Dwayne The Rock Johnson and a three-way triple threat match, Gorilla and Grizzly?
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, I doubt. Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, they don't stand
For sure. Are you a WWE fan?
Oh, hell yeah.
Who is your favorite WWE wrestler of all time?
Dude, I'm gonna have to go do Diamond. Oh, well, he was in WCW with the WWE. I'm gonna have to say Diamond Dallas Page just because it's my baby, but it's gonna have to say Stone Cold, Steve Austin,
And Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy. I like, dog. I wanted to be Jeff Hardy so bad, and he's a Carolina legend. North Carolina's finest. Dog.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you. I'm a huge fan, bro, and I'm just such a fan of your personality and your love that you bring to the world. And congratulations on I've Tried Everything But Therapy Part 2. Congrats on the Grammys, the nomination, the performance, and most of all, being a father. I think you're going to be an amazing father, and I just can't wait to see what else you got for the world.
I love you, bro. Thank you. That's so kind. Such a
you.
pleasure, man. Yes, sir, dude. What a great time. I'm about to cry, dude.
Yeah.
Hands here, mine.